Hello, boys and girls. Today we are going to start chapter 9. And we're going to start with 9.1. Seems like a good spot to start. And we're going to be talking about quartiles and range. Now, range is something that you have probably heard of before, and we've maybe even talked about it this year, but you probably talked about it last year as well. But quartiles should probably be something that's new. So we're going to introduce it today. And we'll probably spend the next couple days working on it. So, here we have the history test scores of 10 students. So what we have to do is we have to find the range of the test scores. Now what the range refers to, the range is the difference between the greatest and the least values in a data set. So if I take the greatest number and subtract the smallest number or the least number, that gives me the range. So in this example here, we have to find the highest number, looks like it's going to be 89. That's the greatest number, 89, and we subtract the smallest number, and that looks like it's a 54. So 89 minus 54 is going to give us 35. So the range between the greatest value and the smallest value is 35. So all the scores are in a 35-point range. Just like if you think about it, like when we were in the classroom, the youngest person was 12, the oldest person, me, was 22, so the range of the ages in the classroom was 10, right? Because 22, my age, minus 12, the youngest person's age, is 10. Okay, let's look at another example. So, the table shows the average monthly temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit in New York. Find the range of the temperatures. So we got to take the greatest number, which is probably someplace in the summer. And let's see, for the summer we have the highest one, looks like it's 76.8. So the greatest number is 76.8. And we're going to subtract the smallest number, which is going to be in the winter. So we have 36, this looks like it's this one, January, 31.5. So minus 31.5. And that's going to give us 45.3 degrees. So 45.3 is the range. So all the temperatures within a year fall in that range of 45.3 degrees, someplace from the lowest to the highest. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about are quartiles. Now, quartiles are, when I think of the word quartiles, the one word that always comes to mind is quarters. And when I think of quarters, I always think of 4. So what these 3 quartiles do is that they break a data set up into 4 groups. Okay? So quartile 1, or Q1, as we'll refer to it going forward, is the median of the lower half of the data set. Q2 is the actual median of the whole data set, and Q3 is the median of the upper half of the data set. Now, if you remember from yesterday, the median is the middle number. So here we go. Let's find each quartile. Now, we're always going to start with quartile number 2, or Q2, or the median. So here I have 12 numbers, okay? And by the way, the very first thing I had to do here is I had to put these numbers in order from least to greatest. And for some reason, it's always tricky. So people always make mistakes on that. So when I'm writing them down, I'll always cross them out. So I'll start with 11, cross it out, write it down, then go to 16, cross it out, write it down. And then I like to double check by counting that I have 12 numbers here, counting that I have 12 of them there, okay? Just to make sure you didn't miss anything. So I have 12 numbers, and if you remember correctly, when I have an even amount of numbers in a data set, there's no true center, so I have to find the 2 numbers that are in the middle. So in this case, it's going to be 28 and 30. So those are the 2 numbers in the middle. Now, I take those 2 numbers, and I have to find the average of them. So I do 28 plus 30. So 28 plus 30, and I divide that by 2. So 28 plus 30 is 58, divided by 2 is 29. So Q2 equals 29. And a lot of times it's going to be easy for you to see, hey, what number comes in between 28 and 30? That's 29. That's numbers right in the middle of those 2 numbers. I think where it gets tricky is when you have decimals. And anyway, so the median, or Q2, is right here. It's 29. Okay. Now, to find Q1, we take this lower half, not including this 29, and we find the median. So since there's 6 numbers here, there's going to be 2 numbers that are right in the middle, 17 and 21. So again, I take 17 plus 21, add them together, and divide by 2. All right, so that's going to give me 38 divided by 2 is 19. So that means Q1 is equal to 19. All right, so I put an equal sign there and a colon on the other one. Perfect. So this is Q1. It's 19. Perfect. Now, let's look at the upper half. There's 6 numbers here. 38 and 44 are the 2 in the middle. So I do 38 plus 44, and I divide that by 2. I'm going to do that. I'm going to come up with it's 41. So Q3 equals 41. So here we go. This is Q3. Now, if you notice, just by using finding these three quartiles, I've managed to break this data set up into 4 groups. Now, we're going to talk more about interpreting that and sort of answering questions about the quartiles, but for right now, today, I just want us to be able to find the quartiles. Okay, let's try another one. This one, the first example, we had 12 digits. This example there was 18 digits. I added another one, so we had an odd amount of numbers there. So I'm at 122 there. And I've already put these numbers in order, so you don't have to actually watch me put them in order. The first thing we got to do, since there's 19 numbers, we have to find the one that's in the middle. Now, when there's a bunch of numbers in the middle, I mean, you could just sort of take a guess, and then you could sort of, count the numbers on each side to make sure there's the same amount on each side. But I always like to do, if I have a lot of numbers, so there's 19 numbers here, I take one away. So 19 minus 1 is 18. Now I divide that by 2, I get 9. So I count 9 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that one I took away, I add that back, and now I have that this is the number that's in the middle. So 126. Okay, so that's going to be Q2. All right. Now, to find Q1, I'm going to take these numbers, and there should be 9 of them there. Okay, and I'm going to find the median of them. So if you kind of do that little thing I just said, I take 9, I subtract 1, it's 8, divide that by 2, I get 4. So I count in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I add that 1 back that I took away. I get 117. So this is going to be Q1. And then over here, same thing. There's 9 numbers, so we'll count up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The one I took away is that. So this is going to be Q3. Okay. Boom, boom. Nah, that's fine. Okay. Perfect. Good. Last one. Let's do one more. I don't want to do this one. Let's go 13 numbers. So let's say, I'm going to put them in order just to start out. So let's say 8, 12, 15, 24, 25, 28. Okay, and there's our 13 numbers. Okay, so again, we have an odd amount of numbers here. So we got to find the number in the middle. So I think of 13, I minus 1, that's 12, divide that by 2, that's 6. So I count up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I lost my spot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I add the 1 back, I get 31. This is Q2. Red ink, Q2, perfect. Now, on this side over here, I have 6 numbers. So I'm back to now even though the original data set had an odd amount of numbers, now that one's gone because that counts for Q2. To find Q1, I have 6 numbers now, so I have an even amount of numbers. So I have to go back to finding the two middle numbers. That's going to be 15 and 24. Okay, so I have 15 and 24. So again, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do 15. Let's do it over here. Let's do 15 plus 24, and that's going to equal 39, and then we divide that by 2. That's going to be 19.5. All right, so that means that Q right here, this is 19.5, which is Q1. All right, and then over here, again, same thing. Let's find the two numbers in the middle. That's going to be 56 and 57. And again, that should be pretty easy for us to see what number's in the middle of that. So the numbers in the middle of that is 56.5. Well, again, that's going to be Q3. Okay, so the only thing we're doing today is we're finding the range of a data set, and we are finding the quartiles. And that's it. We don't have to interpret them. We don't have to do anything else with them. We just have to find the quartiles. And that's it. All right, so